All right, Dave, I have a task for you.
Okay.
You know what it is.
No, I have
What
no
have I been
idea.
asking you for?
What? Oh, a drawing. Oh, we got to do that. We can do that. We can do that today. We will do this before I leave today.
Okay, there we go.
Fair enough.
There we go. Okay.
Very fair.
Mandalorian Grogu. We have to talk about my biggest takeaway from the trailer, which was Rhoda the Hutt, who is someone I
Is that
did
what
not.
that was?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because I just assumed
You're
that this
assuming
big
that.
jacked.
I see. Yes. Tell me more
This
about
big
what you
jacked
think that
hut,
was. Okay.
Looks like the shredded
I see.
one from the comics.
Really? Yes.
That
That
is
wasn't
allegedly-
Rada, was it?
I
In
thought
the
it
comics.
was.
In the comics, was it Rada?
Am I crazy?
I don't know.
You
Are
would
you
know more than
crazy?
me. I
do know more than you.
Rarely would I ever,
Yes.
I would never go toe to toe with you with Star
Yeah,
Wars
you could,
information.
though.
Thank you. I appreciate
Never
that.
be afraid.
Okay, well, tell me about this muscled.
No,
Guy.
probably not. Probably not at this point. No, we'll have to wait and see what it means. It's a mystery. It's one shot. It's interesting. It's a curiosity more than anything at this point.
Yes.
I think you enjoy seeing it in the movie more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so.
I appreciate that.
It's nice though to ask about these things.
That's why I always love talking to you.
That you wonder.
It always just, Okay. Sigourney Weaver coming in as well.
Yes.
New Republic pilot of some sort. Hires these guys, calls them messy. Tell me about bringing her in and kind of who this character is.
It's fantastic. I mean, obviously the body work she has is incredible. It spans so many types of films and genre. She's in one of my favorite in Aliens, and it's just that's so inspirational in so many ways. When you think of the Marines that she's with in that, also even like Galaxy Quest is incredible.
I love Galaxy Quest.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
And so, you never know when you reach out to somebody how they're going to respond. But she was so excited, and she lights up when she sees Grogu. It's incredible.
Who's like swimming now? He's
right.
cute.
He's swimming now. He's growing up. But it was just great watching her work. I still always feel like I'm learning. And I learned so much by watching some of these just masters at their craft. And so I just enjoyed every day being on set with her and talking with her and just watching her work, watching her ask John questions in between takes. And, she really feels like someone that could have fought in the rebellion against the Empire, that was a leader in her own right. And now is trying to figure out how do they fight, a threat that seems to be growing, and yet there are so many people that just aren't heeding the warnings, that aren't maybe as aware. So that was exciting to have her in that role, and we'll see where it goes in the film. But it's just Sigourney Weaver, unbelievable.
So you have The Mandalorian Grogu, we have Ahsoka season 2 coming up, and then we also have your movie, and it seems like these are kind of all leading to the culmination of your film. How is that progressing, and what can you kind of tell about how they're all connected?
Yeah, it's interesting. I probably from working with me over the years that I work in very big arcs and timelines. I always have a lot of things planned, but I'm always able to move things on that big board. And so, Ahsoka season 2 was a plan that I had, obviously off of season 1, if I got to continue, and I had an idea of where that went. And then a lot of things happened that were out of my control that made a lot of challenges to actually accomplishing that. But I was able to accomplish it, and I'm happy where it went. But until I fully understood season 2, I wouldn't understand how the movie should go. And so all these things kind of grow out of each other. And as John's finishing his movie, and I'm tracking all these elements as they're coming together. So John and I talk a lot about what's happening in the future, where we need to go. We also look down the road at what's ahead of all of those things. It's already done. So, it is coming together. There are a lot of things I debate about it in certain ways, and I want to give fans the greatest experience I can when I get to that point. So we'll have to see. I have one idea that I like very much that I could tell you the opening, which I really like, so I hope I get to do that. But there's a completely different version that involves nothing that I'm thinking of that would be equally as exciting. But I feel like that one I'm running out of time to do. And one day I'll tell you what those two things are. Maybe once I've chosen one.
Do you have any timeline idea? You're in our timeline.
And what do you mean in our timeline?
Not like the Star Wars timeline. I mean, what's your timeline for the movie?
Oh gosh. Well, I have to finish season 2 first. And then also I'm helping out with all these other projects now.
Yeah, you got a little
and
promotion
advising
since
people.
last time we
Yeah.
talked.
So I'm trying to balance all those things. And, my priorities are really what's best for the franchise and where my energy is best spent. And, we'll see. But everything is working well right now. So I'm really excited about what I'm seeing. Excited about Andor season 2 coming out. The beautiful talent.
Oh, I've seen it. It's
cast
fantastic.
we have, it's fantastic. So that's inspirational. I still take so much inspiration from all these things. Just because I work there doesn't mean I'm not like, wow, that's incredible. I marvel at what everybody else is accomplishing, and I feed off of that, and I use it to challenge myself. So we'll see. Kathy and I talk all the time, and she and I are figuring out what should go and what goes next and what makes the most sense. And I love working with her. She's a great collaborator. And how spoiled am I to work with George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy? That's pretty great. And also I have Carrie Beck. She works in development. She produces on Ahsoka with me, but she's right there as well. And so we're figuring all these things out and looking at every project. And yeah, it's like, project development, they don't all develop at the same time. But in Star Wars, it's tricky because you need certain things to go before one another if they're in the same space because of the way the audience will perceive it. Which is why, and I said this in an earlier interview, I'm fascinated by what Kevin Feige was able to pull off. I think it's so special and so unique. The Marvel Cinematic Universe and what he was able to accomplish on a timeline and perfectly place all these elements. It's an incredible skill and a real,
Chessboard.
For everybody that worked on those films, it's really remarkable. We're not operating like they do. We're a bit different in Star Wars because our timeline moves a little bit differently. But I take a lot of inspiration even from that. And I've talked to Kevin and what a great guy. And so. We're at a great moment.
Not doing his movie anymore.
What's that?
Who's not doing his movie anymore?
Well, he's very busy right now, though. I mean, he's got Pedro over there, so that's great, though. Fantastic Four has been my favorite comic book. Dr. Doom's my favorite character, so he knows that. But think of the time we're in, where we have all of these great genre things coming out. I know Star Wars, and I'm part of Star Wars, but I do love it all. Like I'm so inspired by what I see out there creatively from so many creatives. Technology's made it possible. Different types of distribution has made it possible. It's really a fascinating time, and the biggest thing you want is just to get artists to be expressive and express themselves in this time and be creative in ways that surprise us. Even if we're using franchises like Star Wars that have been around, what have you got? People I think get worried. They think they're going to talk to me and I'm going to have some Star Wars rule book. And I know a lot of things about how things have been done, but I'm always curious but always in motion in the future. What have you got? What do you want to do? You want to do Mandalorians that don't take their helmet off. Okay, let's talk about that. And how can we make that a story point? Let's not just say no to things. Let's make it a valuable part of our story. And why? Why is that important? And, I just love, it's a privilege to work with all these people.
That's why you're the best.
I do what I can.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. Our podcast has ended.
All right.